Happy Black History Month, and what is up? This is Press X to Start Podcast Season 6, Episode 5. Press X to Start Podcast is an audio and video podcast seeking to transform the video game media landscape through an underserved and protected point of view. Restorative justice for the underrepresented programmers, developers, and consumers. As I said, I am your host, DJ, aka Sexy Bad Choices. aka Sexy Bad Choices. Also, because it's Black History Month and I do the thing that I do, do you know who Andrew Augustine is? Anyone on the cast have any idea? No? Okay. Andrew Augustine is a game developer. He worked on Sims 3 Pets. So if you play Sims, yeah, pretty cool. He is a founder of Notion Games. He is Forbes 30 Under 30 2015 honoree in games. He's a creator of Super Ubi Island, Team Notion, and Up Ubi Remix. He has a website, Notion Games. You should definitely check it out. It's really cool. It's like a it's almost built as like a little mini game kind of thing. And like I just quickly looked at it. It's really awesome. So definitely check it out, notiongames.com. We're not doing any kind of marketing or anything for this person, but it's just really cool.
Well, you had me at Sims 3 Pets. I love the Sims when I was a kid. Truly. I truly love the Sims. I love to work with Will Wright, and that's cool. We worked with them.
Hey, yeah. Cool. All right, so who are you?
It's your boy Jordan coming back from the slumber. I have a few updates in terms of what I've been playing that you'll hear later. Well, let's see. Jordan, aka JXBot, aka Cyberpunk 2078.
Oh, looks like someone got an update.
Looks like somebody got an update. We're back in it, baby.
Third person here.
I'm Avery.
Nailed it. No AKA needed. Look at that.
No AKA.
And last up,
one the only.
Last but not least, Hashim Hathaway, better known as Shimbo, proprietor, owner, CEO, all the acronyms of Never Dawn Radio Network. You can find at neverdawned.net. We are currently undergoing some changes, some cosmetic changes that will be hopefully released end of March. Looking forward to it. But
hey,
we'll see. You know, it's always an uphill climb.
Hey, we know exactly how that is. Again, what's the web address?
Neverdawned.net.
Neverdaunted.net. Yep. Right? Okay, cool. You were breaking up a little bit for me, so I'm just making sure it's clear for the people who are listening and watching. All right, well, that is who we are. And now let's talk about the games we have been playing. All right. So as we said at the start of the cast, the last cast, we have been playing Horizon. Jesus. We've playing Horizon Forbidden West. This is going to be a mix of impressions. So Avery has dedicated much of his soul to this game. So he is much farther in this game than I am. So Avery, you go ahead and you just start. You go ahead. What's your thoughts on this game so far? Oh, you're muted, Avery.
I just muted myself for a second. I am somewhere between 30 to 40 hours into this game. I'm not golden pathing it. I am exploring it as it comes. When I say I know life a game, I'm not kidding you. When I say I know life a game, I took off Friday specifically for this matter, for my office job to start working in this, and I misunderstood how my post-30 identity would react to no life in a game. So that's something I have to stay abreast of going forward. That being said, I love this game. Like, I went through a litany of emotions with it in regards to how I felt about this game. But I'm now on the other side of all that, saying, like, as someone who loved Horizon Zero Dawn, and it's my favorite first party franchise to emerge out of the PlayStation 4 generation. They have knocked it out of the park in regards to this sequel, at least so far as I'm in this game. I think the quote unquote gunplay of the bow and arrow still is as fun as ever. The sort of mechanical difficulty of all the individual enemies is still as exciting as ever. There are way more machine types in this game. In fact, old machine types are in this game, but there are so many new ones that like you have to like wait a second and be like, oh yeah, this was in the old game. I think from a world standpoint, they have 100% knocked every other game out of the park in regards to building an open world. Like when this game launches, I thought it was a pre-rendered cutscene with how good the open world looked, and then I saw someone describe the open world in this game as noisy, and like
That's interesting.
it's because everything is so dense that it takes you a while to just understand the readability of what everything is around you.
There's a term for that. There's a term for that they use, like where they really make sure the environment's active. But yeah, I'm glad they're doing it.
So at the beginning of the game, like one of the intro places, you have to. No, you don't have to. Like you can. There's an opportunity for you to open the trunks of cars. And when I got to that section, I was like, oh, it's just destroyed cars. Cool. Then I saw a prompt. I was like, wait, I can interact with this thing. And then I just went around and started opening the cars. It's just like, I didn't even, like, there was no real indication of like, yeah, you can interact. There
is. There are butterflies over anything that you can interact with.
Oh
shit.
That's what I was talking about with the readability. It took me a while to understand how this game wants to communicate to me with how dense and like lifelike its environments are.
I think the term I was going to use is lived in. I think there's a term that could be used for that.
I think the narrative does the exact same bullshit that Horizon Zero Dawn did, and it presents you a really cool sci-fi story, and it just keeps amping up the like what the WTF factor till you get to a point. I want to say 1/3 of the game. I'm like, I cannot believe this is what this game is going to be about. Okay. Like there's a specific message I put in our group chat about being annoyed by a certain actor being revealed to be in this game. Because at like the 1/3 part, there's like a voicemail, and like because I knew this actor was in this game, I'm like, oh, this is who's talking. Okay, then this makes sense. This makes sense. Like I had already guessed what the first Horizon. I couldn't tell you what the end of that game was till it revealed itself to me. This one this one they telegraphed it really early on what this game is going to be about, but the way it keeps moving, it's like, okay, this is the sci-fi story we're going on. I think they do continue on that point of narrative and fidelity. I think they've taken a step up with the sort of the interactions between characters in this game. I remember the first Horizon having the very static Fallout level. Here's a medium wide shot with of your torso up as you're having a conversation with another person. Medium wide shot, torso up. That was the conversation. Now there are much more wider conversations. Characters are emoting and like dynamically moving around the scene and much more. So like they're actually having a real conversation. Returning characters are also presented in the same fidelity as the old ones. I think the whole Varl showing up with a beard at the beginning of the game was just a flex on them, being like, hey man, this character, we put this beard on this character, look how good it looks.
Yes.
We were having a conversation, I kind of wish Marcus was here, because he, about how good all the individual characters look in this game. And I think this game is now going to be a benchmark for an open world game in how like NPCs visually look. Like we cannot go back to like any other game that doesn't every hero character who I say character with a name that you're going to have an NPC prompt with looks amazing, like so amazing that like the
fidelity,
the fidelity, it's so amazing that when there's one character who starts talking and like I looked at her and I'm like, huh, she sounds a lot like this ex voice actress. Huh, she looks a lot like ex voice actress. I wonder if this is ex voice actress. It is ex voice actress. And I was able to recognize that because of how good the character ends up looking in this game.
Yeah.
I've been
Like,
gushing.
I just wanted to tack on to that because like like I've been raving about like for me I think this is the best looking game that I have ever played in my whole life. Like the as Avery was saying, the way that the people emote, it's so captivating. Like there was a in what is it? It's
Chain scrape.
chain scrape. Yeah. There is a conversation that you have with one of the guys, and I feel like he's giving the best performance of his life. And it is just it's so crazy to see because he's talking to Aloy. He steps away from Aloy. He looks at the camera. He's doing all this stuff with his hands, and it's just like, what am I watching? Like this is not even like a mainline quest. Like what is happening? So yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Go ahead, Avery.
Yeah, yeah. So Aloy herself, I still think that she still remains one of the best characters PlayStation ever created. She's even more realized in this game in a way where she's actually like she's not like she's still the lawful neutral character that she's always been, in which she has a point of view and she's gonna ram that point of view down. But this is also a game that challenges that perspective of who Aloy is as a character and has other characters rationally react to sort of like the way the character of Aloy presents herself, and I think a super reasonable way. Like, minor spoiler: this game is 6 months after the original Horizon Zero Dawn, and when you start interacting with other characters, it's clear that Aloy just dipped after the end of that game. You beat that boss, and the immediate end of that game is Aloy just left. She didn't tell anyone what she was doing. She just walked away to do her job because she's important. And other characters, like every character you interact with, is like, Aloy, man, like, why did you do that? What's wrong? I thought we were friends. And it's like this really interesting dynamic that sort of makes you question the nature of Aloy's character, to the point where there are moments in this game where she's reasonably trying to get her point of view forward, but I'm still sitting there going like, just take it down a peg. You're being a bit too unreasonable right now.
Yeah. Yeah, like I am okay, so as it is right now, like Avery, you are I think I've put maybe like 4 or 5 hours into the game. So I'm not anywhere near like able to really talk about too much of the story. I think I can't talk about the gameplay that I've experienced so far. And it was one of those things for me where when I first boot up Horizon, I definitely haven't played Horizon since it like I haven't played Horizon 1 since it released. So I was just kind of scraping the back of my memory to kind of remember like what was the flow of this game. And when it came to bow combat, the last thing that I really played with bow combat was I think Kenna. I think either Kenna or yeah, it was Kenna. It was Kenna because Ghost came out before Kenna.
Yeah.
So like that was kind of in the back of my mind in terms of like, okay, well maybe I should do this and this with the bow kind of thing. So it was very much so a learning process for me to reteach myself how Horizon plays, right? And I got up to that point, and now that I'm at that point, like this game, the gameplay, it is just spectacular. Like the things you're doing, the fact that the robots will put some work to you if you are just thinking that you can just tank through everything. So I love the fact that like they're still dangerous. Even the baseline robots that you fight, the borrowers, like they can still really hurt you. So I'm having a great time with this. By next episode, I'll have way more hours put to this game and really be able to talk about the 1/3, the sci-fi stuff. Like I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, overall having a great time with the game. Yeah. So Jordan, you didn't play Forbidden West. You played Zero Dawn.
No, oh yeah, so I was about that little thing. Like I played a different type of Horizon. Usually you hear
Oh.
me talk about Forza Horizon 5.
Mhm.
But now I am playing a different Horizon, being Zero Dawn. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. This is my first time playing it. I did say I was gonna, play it in the past. Um, I kept myself fairly ignorant. No, not ignorant, but I just didn't want to cloud myself with any type of other reviews or anything like that. I truly wanted to get into this as pure as possible, which is very difficult because of how popular and successful this game is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's a spectacle. Um, I'm interested to see how the world opens up. I mean, like, I think the concept of having not just like a post-apocalyptic world, but a new world setting is something that's very compelling to me in terms of a sci-fi game. And yeah, I mean, DJ in the past talked about how poorly the game handles stuff like that. I'm not detecting that, like in terms of combat and aiming and stuff like that. It's fairly rewarding when it comes to practice, when it comes to doing well. Like it's a good. It's not punishing either.
Yeah.
But like
So
getting
real quick,
through.
I will say that the problem that I had with the melee for Horizon 2 was that the heavy attack, there's a normal heavy attack and then there's a charge heavy attack, right? The charge heavy attack, I think, and also the heavy attack, they both lock on to the nearest enemy.
Mhm.
And there's no actual indication of a lock on. So you might be facing one way thinking that you're going to do the heavy attack in a direction, but Aloy might turn around completely and attack someone that's behind them because that person is, or that robot is like the closest robot. So for me, it was kind of inconsistent. So when in one point of the level, you drop this boss like enemy, and I went to do the heavy attack, and it didn't really trigger. It didn't really happen the way I thought it would happen, and I ended up like inside of the boss, and I was just like, "What's happening here?" But then Avery told me that like, yeah, there was a charge heavy and then there was a normal heavy, and I didn't know there was a charge heavy. So it was a thing of like there was just a lot of stuff happening, and I didn't realize that I had this other ability, and I thought I was using the ability that I thought I was using, but I was using a different ability. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, I mean, even though I only played like 3 hours of Zero Dawn, I'm more than confident I'm be buying, Forbidden West once I've completed it. Like it's a very, very fun game. Though there have been funny moments to which I would try to leave the conversation, but the conversation was being held on the side of a cliff, to which I pressed the dodge button and jumped off a cliff. And Aloy is not Eivor or Cassandra from Assassin's Creed, to which they can survive, long falls. They will die immediately. But yeah, Zero Dawn is very fun, and I don't think I'll be on the next cast when we go deeper into Forbidden West, just to, keep it as pure as possible. But yeah, this is an amazing game, and that's what I've been
Yeah.
playing.
Okay. Awesome. My neck just cracked. Jesus. I'm getting
There's a whiplash.
Why did
That
you do that to yourself?
I don't know. That has been another episode of our illustrious Press X and Start podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed making it and having the conversation about who will be in our living rooms for the next few years, console-wise, not people, because that gets kind of creepy. If you missed anything, you can find all the details and more on our website at pressx2start.com. You can also go to the cool place, which is youtube.com, and you can find our podcast. Well, you should be watching it right now, so you shouldn't have to worry about any of this. But
Right.
What you should worry about is hitting that like button and hitting that subscribe button if you haven't, and then hitting that notification bell, because if you do all those three things, then you're just great. Yeah, with that being said, Shimbo, again, tell them where they can find your great content.
Find all my great and fantastic content at neverdawned.net.
Awesome. All right, well, with that being said, you be safe, you take care, you wash your hands, you wear that mask. Peace out.
Take care, everybody.